Tov, everyone. Welcome to the first class, which we call Torah and Toast. Delicious breakfast in the back for everybody to enjoy. Short Shiur. I decided to maybe learn the Megillat Shir HaShirim, which we say every single Friday, as is the custom of the Sfaradim around the world. This is a very, very powerful Megillah. I had hopes maybe to complete it this summer, as we're going to be doing this throughout the summer during the week. I don't know if that's going to be done, but if we don't finish it, then maybe next summer we'll complete it. Shir HaShirim is, so many commentators have expressed their commentary and their description of what is written. A literal meaning, you just can't read it literally. It sounds like a love song. It is a love song, but it's a special love song. And if you just look at the word literally, you miss the whole point. We're going to be focusing on one of the Perushim called the Tzeror HaMor. It was written by Rabbi Yaakov Loberbaum, Zecher Tzadik Bracha, of a city called Lisa, and he was born in Poland. Not to be confused with another Perush Tzeror HaMor, which was Rabbi Abraham Saba. He wrote a commentary on the Torah, so not to be confused with him. And he asks a question in his commentary. It's important to know this theory of his. He asks a question that the Gemara tells us that Megillat Shir HaShirim is Kodesh Kodashim, Holy of Holies. All the other songs are Kodesh, just holy. But Shir HaShirim, Kodesh Kodashim. So he asks the question, what does that mean? Will you tell me about the Hazinu? The Shir of Hazinu, Shir Moshe, which were written by Moshe Rabbeinu, the holiest songs in the Torah. You're telling me that is less than that of Shir HaShirim written by Shlomo? No offense to Shlomo HaMelech, who's a great man, smart man. But how can you say that this is Kodesh Kodashim? And what Moshe Rabbeinu said in Hazinu and Shir Moshe is just Kodesh, it's just holy. So he says, you're missing the point. He goes, what Moshe Rabbeinu wrote in the Torah, Hazinu as Shir Moshe, is in reference to this world. Everything that's taking place in this world and our job in this world, Avodat Hashem. However, Kodesh Kodashim, as he's going to explain throughout his whole commentary, is what is in reference in Olam Haba. This world, our relationship with God is that of Irusin, that of, we'll call it engagement. But we wait for the ultimate relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's Nisuin, the actual marriage, which is an eternal bond, that will take place only when the Geulah comes and the Galut ends, and as he goes on to explain throughout this book. So it's important to know that, and everything that we're going to read, I'm going to read it inside. You're going to see how the words fit. It's really, really phenomenal how he goes through it. So without further ado, we're just going to start. And I was looking for a translation. I opened up the Art Scroll Chumash for a translation of Shir HaShirim, but the Art Scroll Chumash is already translating it based on the metaphor and allegory, and I wanted to give the literal translation so that we can see that the literal translation should not be taken literally, and then we'll go into the allegory. Okay? So I need to find an actual translation. So these words are very hard and very difficult. So, but we'll do our best to translate, see how many psukim we get done. The plan is to learn about 10 to 15 minutes every morning, and then you can go off to your work day. Okay, so Shir HaShirim Asher Lishlomo, the song of songs that belong to Shlomo or was written by Shlomo. Okay, so he says the Tzeror HaMor. What does it mean, Shir HaShirim? Shir me'uleh al kol HaShirim. This is a song that ascends all the other songs. As we already explained, the Gemara tells us Kodesh Kodashim. Lefi shehu shir shemeshorerim Yisrael ala geula ve'olam haba. This is a song that the Jewish people are singing in reference to the ultimate geula, the redemption, and olam haba. So now, what's Li Shlomo? Are we singing it Li Shlomo? Are we singing it to Shlomo? That's the definition of Li Shlomo. Li Shlomo is not to Shlomo, but rather LaKadosh Baruch Hu. It is the song to God. Shehu Melech She'ashalom Shelo. He is a king where peace is his. We know that one of the names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Shalom. Okay, you cannot say the name Shalom in the bathroom, for example. It's a halakha, because it's a reference to one of Hashem's names. Okay, and therefore Lishlomo, the root word of Lishlomo is shalom. And we know that one of the reasons why Shlomo HaMelech was called that is because he was a king of peace. Okay, but that's on a side point. But this is in reference to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Shir HaShirim Asher Lishlomo. Okay, good. First pasuk, check mark. We move on to the second pasuk. I have to turn so many pages because there's so many mefarshim over here. Second pasuk, Yishakeni mineshikot pihu. Kiss me with the lips, with the lips of your mouth. Ki tovim dodecha miyain, because your love is greater than wine. Ki tovim dodecha miyain. So says the Tzeror HaMor. This is the first request that the Jewish people make towards God or towards the Shekhinah. So what is the mineshikot pihu, from the kiss of your mouth? מבקשת הכנסת ישראל למהר הגאולה והעולם הבא שהוא יום הנישואין. The Jewish people are requesting to hasten the Geula and Olam Haba, which is the Yom HaNisuin. We've talked about this marriage day. Ki ad achshav hu rak bechinat arusa. Until now, we're only engaged to God. We have a relationship, but it's not so strong. Kimo shekatavti b'pticha, like I wrote in my own introduction. Ve'az yedaber imanu Elohim pe el pe, kemo shediber im Moshe. And it's only later on in Olam Haba, later on in the Geulam, where God will speak to us, pe el pe, mouth to mouth. Yishakeni mineshikot pihu. The only person who had that type of relationship was Moshe Rabbeinu. He was the only one that had that type of relationship, which is Shediber Moshe. He spoke with Moshe, and Moshe spoke with him. Pe el pe. Now, what's the meaning? Ki tovim dodecha miyain, that your love is greater than wine. So he says, אף שבשעת גאולת מצרים לא יכולנו לסבור, even though that when we were redeemed from Egypt, we could not handle שיהיה הדיבור עמנו פה אל פה. It was too much for us that we could come that close to God. כדכתיב, the pasuk actually says it, ואל ידבר עמנו אלוהים, that Elohim did not speak to us that way. מכל מקום, however, that was then. בשעת הגאולה והעולם הבא, when it comes to גאולה and עולם הבא, שיהיה בחינת נישואין, which is going to be the marriage, והיינו שידבק הנפש בהקדוש ברוך הוא, and our soul is going to cling very strongly to God. ועל זה הזמן נאמר, and you know what the Torah tells us, the Chachamim, the Navi tells us about that time, כי תמלא הארץ לדעת את כבוד השם כמים נכסו על הים. The whole world is going to recognize HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His honor like the water that spreads over the sea. That's when we can speak to Him mouth to mouth. He's going to get to the wine very soon. So he said, but first he says, why in the future is it compared to the water spreading over the sea? That which we're using this parable of water spreading over the sea. Everything in life has a limit. Everything has a border. Gvul is a border, by a limit. Past the border, you can't. Okay? Yeah, I can walk all around this country without a passport. But once I get to the border, United States, there you end. You cannot go anymore. This is not the case with regards to water. That covers the ocean, and no gvul. It just goes. The water just goes. It's a miracle that Hashem actually stops the water from going onto dry land and flooding the entire earth. That's why He created dry land. But the water, the characteristic of water should be to go and wipe everything out and just flood everything. But God, in His miraculous ways, allows the water to be contained. כי כל הנחלים הולכים אל הים, בלי גבול, כי כן לא יהיה אז גבול להשגתם. ולכן, therefore, מכנין עכשיו התורה בשם יין. The Torah now is giving this pseudonym of wine, כי כמו שהיין אף שאמרו חמרה ברחני פקחים. The Gemara tells us in Masechet Yoma that wine has the ability to make somebody smart, okay, and so does sense, reach. מכל מקום יש גבול לשתייתו. But you can't drink too much wine. Yeah. What happens if you drink too much wine? Purim. You're gone. You're finished. Yes, gvul. There's a limit. When a person drinks more than that gvul, he becomes drunk. Ken hu achshav Torah. This is the Torah now. כשרוצה להשיג יותר מגבול, נפגע או ימות. If somebody wants to go beyond what he's capable of in the Torah, he will get punished, he will become nifga is blemished, or God forbid he will even die. Kimo ben Azai. This is a story in the Gemara where 4 people went to go see Pardes. They went to go see what God's all about, and only one of them came out of there unscathed. Everybody there was affected. Okay, and one died, one became crazy, one went off the derech. There's a limit. Now, we're not at that level where we're nowhere near that limit, so we can keep on learning as much as we want. Okay, but it's in reference to, yes, even the Torah here, before the ultimate Geulah, before Olam Haba, there is a gvul. There's a gvul. Masha'en ken la'atid. This is not going to be the case in the future. She'yeh bechinat nisuin, where again, where we're in the status of marriage. Ve'az yityahed ha'nefesh shehi ha'chelek im hakol shu shechina. That's when the soul is going to mamash connect with its source, which is the Shekhinah. As lo yeh gvul la'asagatenu. No longer will there be a gvul. No longer is there going to be this limit. Ve'lo yechuneh shuv ha'torah b'shem yain, rak b'shem shemen. The Torah is not going to be referred to as wine like it is today. It's going to be referenced as oil. Torah is going to be in Olam Haba or in the ultimate Geulah. Torah is going to be referenced as oil. Shekol ma shemosifin shemen yoter meiru meriach yoter. The more oil you have, the more light you have. The more scent, olive oil, the more it smells beautifully. Oil has that characteristic. There's no gvul for oil. If I want to light a candle with 3 liters of oil, it's going to last me 10 weeks. Okay? But in wine, I keep on drinking 3 liters of wine, then I'll be on the floor and I'm finished. That's the difference. This is what the pasuk says, that your love is greater than wine. Ki dodim, love, leshon nisuin ubiyah, is lashon of marriage. Biyah is actually a nice term of saying intimacy. Kimo shneimar, niveh dodim mimad boker. That's when the Torah is going to be referenced by oil. There's another difference between wine and oil. Because wine only has taste, but does not, and only benefits the drinker. If you drink wine, you enjoy the wine. I don't enjoy what you're drinking. I can't taste it. Masha'en ken shemen. Shemen does not have, shemen has an additional quality. Meriach lacherim. Shemen brings smell to everybody in the room. That's the fragrance of smell that we have. And that's the meaning of the next pasuk, which is lereach shemanecha tovim, which Bezrat Hashem we will talk about tomorrow. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.